Hey folks, welcome back to the village. If you watched my channel before, you're probably seeing I like to grow plants. Butterfly flower beds, stuff to attract hummingbirds. I garden, just something I do, but that also carries it through to the inside. I think plants make the house look better. And just from an aesthetic point, it just livens it up, makes it look a little more alive. Just to give you an idea, and also what the benefit of plants, don't realize a lot of your things in your house, you know, your carpets, you know, your couches, they put a lot of man-made chemicals that keep stuff fire retardant to keep you safe. So those things, as things age, those escape the carpet and stuff into the air, which really a lot of that's cancer causing, that you're really not good to breathe. So in turn, your plants make your house look better, but they also clean the air. A couple examples of really good plants to clean that air that I like to grow. I'll spin you around here. These are Pothos plants. See them everywhere. They come in like mostly the green versions with a little variegation. Depending on the plant, they'll have some more white. Like this guy appears quite a bit greener. But then I can show you this same thing. We'll spin around over here. This over here is a Pothos plant also. But you're also going to notice how much white's in it. So it can be different variegations. Very simple to grow. And it takes a lot of that stuff that I'm talking about out of the air. Here's another version of a Pothos plant with just some variegation in it. So that's what one of the plants I like to grow. Another plant that's really good, this is not a very good version. This is a spider hunt that I started. But this is a green spider plant. It takes a lot of those toxic chemicals that are in the air out. And we'll come over here. This is my assistant. Say hi, Madison. Yeah, she's too busy. Here's a couple more. This is one that I'm struggling to get going. This is a variegated spider plant. Another version of a green one. Just real good at pulling all that chemicals and things out of the air. Simple to grow. We'll come in here and I'll show you a couple more. And this over here, I refer to this one as the mama plant. This plant's probably something that came from my mom. That's probably, I would guess this plant to be 35, 40 years old. If you got any pothos you'll see around my house, they usually came from this plant. It's just a matter of, I'm going to do some cuttings today, and we're going to show you how we just pop these in some water, root them out, and start them. So you really, not only are they good at taking all the junk out of the air, you can grow them simply by just cutting and restarting them and make all kinds of different plants out of it. So just a couple other plants, staff plant there, another green spider there. And you can do different things with the pothos. This is something I created myself. You'll see them a lot of times in the store. I just took a pot and put a piece of cedar here. I put a flat piece there and connected in the pot. And then I just stuck it in the pot, filled it with dirt like anything else, and then I put the starts that I had here. And as they've grown, I've just worked them up the board. As you can see, the board, I do have a little sisal on there to just give a little grip for the plants or put them underneath. And you can kind of see that's just going to grow its way up there. So the pothos will do good in a pot like this, or you can put it in a basket. I don't have any in a basket hanging, but it'll go in a basket and hang or grow up like this because it actually will climb and grow on stuff. In Florida, you can actually plant these outside. So that just give you an idea of different plants you can grow and what they can do for the air around you. Another good plant that I don't have yet, but want to get one, is the snake plant. It kind of looks like a corn plant, I think is what people call it. But it looks like kind of like a dark green leaf, some kind of yellow variegations in it. And really good at taking a lot of that junk out of there also. But you got to watch with some of these plants like that. They can be toxic to a dog, like your Pothos plants and so forth. So if you have dogs that like to chew on plants, it might be something you might not want to get or you want to keep up where it's out of reach from them. And just various different plants. We're going to do this today, like this plant over here. This is just a start off of something. This is, I think they call it Arrowhead plant. That's not its technical name, but I think that's the nickname for it. It's a tropical plant that grows down in Mexico and Central America. And down in Florida, plant this outside, and here we just grow as a tropical plant inside. And that just started like this. These are just different plants that I've broken off the main plant and grown more plants. again, you're dropping them in water and they'll root out, and then you just put them in some dirt and they'll turn into another plant. So again, you're creating more plants without really spending much money. It's just the soil itself. As you can see, it's got a big root on it. So we're going to take this out there today and we're going to mix up some soil and we're going to plant that in a pot out there and get that started. Actually, off that main plant, I got that one over there. I have 2 others, and this will be another one off that main plant. So you're replicating the plants and it's not really costing you any more money, really. This is the pothos. I just take cuttings, I'll take these leaves off and we'll just drop them in here. And then within the next probably 3 to 5 days, they'll have roots like this on it, start sprouting out. Then in about another 10 days, I could take them out, drop them in soil or something, and then create another plant. And again, one of the best plants for taking all that junk out of there we're talking about. Another plant really good at that. I don't have any. I don't like them because they're messy, but fern plants really good at cleaning the air. So that's another plant you can consider if you like those. Instead of tendency to drop a leaves and get messy, they're good to have out on porches or something like that where you don't have to worry about them making a mess. That's another really good plant. So let me get set up out there and I'll show you how I don't actually buy potting soil, but I'm going to show you how I mix it up and put it together to put these plants in. So we'll head out there to the shed and we'll show you what we do. Okay, folks, back out here at the shed. Now we've got our plant we showed you inside. We're going to plant. My pothos plant starts. We just go back and cut them off. You'll see these little nodules here on the stems. This is where they're going to grow the roots. So what you want to do is I like to try to cut it close to that on the end, just to keep the roots on the end part of it. This one I'll cut a little bit more off and just cut it at an angle when you cut it. And that'll do the same thing. Your roots will sprout out here. So they'll just go in here just like that other plant in there and just go in the water and just give them, 3 to 5 days and they'll start sprouting roots just like this guy did. I don't buy potting soil per se. I make all mine up myself, and I'll kind of show you what I do here. I'll take in, where I put it. This is out of my compost bin out there. This was it one time. Grass, leaves from the yard, leftover vegetables, eggs and stuff, shells and stuff from inside that run through the composter and break down, so you end up with something that kind of looks like dirt. So I like to start with that and put some of that in a bucket, and then I'll add something like this here. This is sphagnum peat moss. That actually helps hold a little moisture in the soil. So I like to put a little bit of that in there. This here is just some topsoil, so I'll just mix a little of that in. And I don't measure, never have. People say you got to do the minutes, parts. I've never measured ever. So I'm not big at measuring anything. So just mix that up a little bit. And what I like to add to that is you can use vermiculite like this, or you can use perlite. And what that is, they're both like volcanic ash type stuff, rock type. And what it does when you put it in there, it's not actually improve or feed the plant or anything like that. It actually just loosens the soil so it doesn't compact down. Also gives pathways for the roots to follow through the soil. I mean, openings and everything. So again, it's not compacted down. So what I'll do is like a little bit more of this. Kind of looking at it, break that up a little bit. Some of this is a little moist. I'll use both, or I'll just use one. I like the perlite kind of for indoors. It works a little better. It's a little more granular. Again, it's gonna look like looks styrofoam almost. Put a little of that in there, and then we're just gonna mix that up. So now you got your compost mixed with your topsoil, and that's gonna look kind of like that. And then what I'm going to do too is, since this is going to go into a plant that goes inside, what you're going to have is a lot of might be worms, it could be various things that are in the soil, beetle grubs, stuff like that. What we like to add to this too, so we don't have that problem, or you'll have little root maggots or something like that that are flies. So we take this, and this is Diatomaceous Earth. This is single-celled algae that's harvested from the floor of like lakes or the ocean and it can be ground up, and it's almost like a powdery type. It's really amazing what it does. It can be used in livestock and everything for wormer and stuff like that. You can actually take it as a supplement if you have a problem with like a parasitical problem or something like that. But this stuff is really, if you look at it under magnification, it might feel soft and powdery. If you look under magnification, it looks like little razors of glass. So this is how it works. When your soft-bodied insects run across this stuff in the soil, it damages the surface of their skin, making them dry out, and then they can't eat, and then they die. So this is how this works. They can ingest it, and that'll keep them from eating also. So we're just going to take a little of that. You should wear something or not get this where you breathe it. And just kind of be real careful with. I'm just going to add a little of that. You don't need a lot. And add that to it. And again, mix that up. And that's going to keep that problem from happening. Mix it in pretty good. You won't even see it really in there because it's just so light. But that way when you take it inside, you're not going to have that problem. So when you get done, it's just going to look like potting soil you buy at the store pretty much. I think you can see that pretty good. So that's what I do. I mean, I also like to do something like this too, to give it, to feed it something. I use this. This is a starter transplant food. I'll take a little of this. I like organic stuff. I don't use any chemicals. So I'll take a little bit of this and just throw a little bit of that in there too. And mix that in. That just gives it a little food to feed it on. Once you put it in there, it's good for like, it almost has like a root stimulator in there that'll get the plant to start growing roots a little quicker to get it established. So that's it. So I take my pot that I'm going to put that plant in, and I'm just going to take this, just fill it up, and this will go on something on a tray or something before I bring it in, because this is an external pot. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to fill that pot up. You want to give the root a little room to grow, so you want to take, and not really kind of centered up, but don't force the root to be, compacted. So then you're going to put your dirt in there. Center that up a little bit, and that's pretty much it. You're going to firm this up. Don't like mash it in there, but you just want to kind of firm it up to eliminate air holes, air pit pockets and everything that are within the soil. So we're going to do that. So that's all you're going to do. You don't want to bury it too deep. You can kind of see about what would be a natural soil level for this. And that's it. And now you got, from your original plant, now you started your fourth plant off your original plant by just breaking it off as it's got, and put it in the water and starting it to root. And that's pretty much it. Just once you start watering this will start growing more roots. That stimulator stuff we put in there, this will start encourage it to put more roots out. So that's pretty much it. Let's see how that looks on the camera. There, not bad. Same, and like I said with these pothos plants, I'm taking these cuttings off. Depending on what you want to do, you can take some small ones, like I'll do small ones like this and add them back to plants that I want to make them bushier. Or if I want something that's going to be a taller plant, I'll make them longer. It's totally up to you what you want to do. And like I said, I'm just going to drop them in some water like this. And I'll probably get a bigger, taller cup for those so they'll stand up a little more. And that's just going to start that rooting process. Don't let them dry out. Try to keep that water. If it gets kind of mucky like this is, just take it out and put some fresh water in, every couple of days or so. And that'll start those growing some roots. People are probably asking, do you need kind of root stimulator or anything? These are all soft-bodied plants, so not going to use any root stimulator. But if I was starting something that was more woody on the outside, almost had like a bark to it, like a shrub or something like that, I would put that in that rooting hormone, and then I would, put a hole in the dirt and then place that in there and firm the dirt up around it. What that's going to do is it's going to encourage it to start growing roots, and it's going to coat the plant to keep it from like rotting with the moisture being up against that woody exterior. So that's what we use for the woodier plants. But these are all soft-bodied plants, so you're not going to have that problem. So we don't have to do that. So that's another thing. One time we'll do some of the harder, but going into the wintertime, I'm not going to start anything like that. But in the spring we'll do that. We'll show you some things we can do with that. Again, just simple things you can do. You can buy your own potting soil. I don't like to. This is, probably what I got invested in this is pennies. Just something you can use. Diatomaceous Earth, look online, you can find this. This is from Florida. You can get all different kinds. You can get stuff that's human grade, you know, food grade, which humans are used for a supplement for animals and stuff like that. Perlite, vermiculite, you can find any, you know, hardware store, you know, plant place, Walmart. This burpee fertilizer, I believe this came from Lowe's or Menards, I'm not sure. You can get it online also if you want. So just what I like to use, I like to make my own stuff up. Again, not very precise. I kind of do it by eye. I've done it a long time. You can buy different mixes. I got one over here I'll show you that I've used before that I've got. You can buy stuff like this. That's just basically what I did right there. It's already made up. If you look at it, basically it looks like what I have over there. It's got a little bit more, it has a little bit more of the stagnant peat moss in it, which will hold moisture. I don't like to go too crazy with that because you want to hold moisture, you don't want to have it soaked. So that's basically what it is. And that's what I like to do. So if you like the video, hit the like button down below. If you enjoy watching us and everything, watching more plants growing and stuff like that and doing the learning, maybe some things, hit the subscribe button down below. If you have any comments or suggestions, do that down below also. Here to share information and learn. I don't per se to be an expert, but I know a little bit about it. I've been doing this for a little bit. So that's about it for today. If you have a good rest of the weekend, and if you want to hit that notification button down below, that'll tell you when we post stuff, so you know when you post. You don't have to go check it. It'll just shoot you a thing when I post something. I got a bunch of stuff I got to edit up and post, so you can also do that. So have a good remainder of your weekend. Thanks for joining, folks.